Hey guys, before we get into this video, I've got some exciting news for you EV drivers. We are hosting a meetup to celebrate the launch of Iona's new EV charging network. Iona could set the standard for the best EV charging experience, and I can't wait to try it. So, if you're up for a road trip or if you live local to the Raleigh Triangle area, join me on December 19th to stress test Iona's very first rechargery. The link is in the description to sign up, and I hope to see you all there at the launch of this new network. Now, to the video.
Dude, turning in is awesome. Just to sit on that front tire. Dude, it turns like crazy. And the rear coming out, holy shit, that's awesome. It does all the stuff you want it to do.
But I think this is what's going to give us the pulse on the company. Windshield is so huge and is awesome. And these are now out of your line of sight. So it's no longer annoying to have the sun visors up there.
Model Y versus Gravity, here we go. Dude, holy smokes. That's awesome.
How sick is that?
Nice.
Oh, baby. Here's Peter. Peter, can you come on camera?
No, well, I think I already am.
Yeah.
What's your verdict?
Look
at this matching.
Yeah, drives incredibly. Yeah.
It's a machine.
It's crazy. By the way, guys, if you want more Lucid Gravity content, we are posting alongside this video a 2-hour-long episode shot at the Out of Spec Hub detailing the entire Gravity experience and even more information than you'll get in this video. I'll leave that linked in the description. Hello and welcome to another Out of Spec Reviews video, and welcome finally to a Lucid Gravity. We are here at the headquarters in Newark, California, and guess what? We get to drive it for the first time here in this video. So you're going to get my very first driving impressions of the Lucid Gravity. We're also going to talk just a lot about the car, go on a tour front to rear. It's going to be a little bit of a hodgepodge video, some stuff back at the office and here because we only have a very small window of time. So we want to spend time talking to the engineers, the people responsible, and then we are going to get you as much information as we possibly can in this video, as we always do, about the Lucid Gravity. So join us as we drive, me and Jordan behind the camera, the Lucid Gravity for the first time. Jordan, are you pumped?
I am so excited.
Let's freaking do it, brother. Guys, this video is brought to you by XChange. Thrilled to be working with them for their annual EV raffle this year, where they are giving the grand prize winner $120,000 to spend on an electric car. They could choose a Tesla Cybertruck, a Tesla Model S Plaid, a Rivian R1T, or Lucid Gravity. On top of that, they'll even pay for all of the taxes and fees associated with that prize, which is super awesome. To double the excitement of your holiday gift, each ticket purchased before the end of the year also enters you into a bonus early bird drawing of $10,000 on January 3rd. And of course, all tickets are still entered into the grand prize drawing on February 28th. For those of you who don't know, XChange is a nonprofit working with states to fight climate change, so no matter what happens, you can feel good about contributing to an important cause. They only sell 5,000 tickets, and time is ticking on your chance to be entered into the early bird drawing, so don't miss out. Again, enter today at carbonraffle.org/outofspec. We are also, of course, coming into the holiday season, which means you can gift these raffle tickets. If you have a friend, a relative who's interested in electric cars and you are thinking, what is the perfect gift to get them for the holiday season? How about an entry into the Carbon Raffle? All you have to do is go to carbonraffle.org/outofspec, and when you're checking out, actually choose the gift option and you can send it digitally right to them. No wrapping necessary. You guys join me in front of Lucid HQ with the Gravity, and this is a very pre-series Gravity. You can see it's like all hodgepodge together and has 2 charging ports on this side actually, Jordan. So this is just an early mule, and the US cars actually, for example, won't have the CCS1 port. They are shipping with the NACS from launch, which starts now, basically start of production, like within a week or 2 of this video.
Apparently.
It's crazy. It's so exciting. And the rear charge port, this is where the NACS will go. This is just a blank, and it's like not even put on correctly. But this is all about the driving experience of the Gravity. So we're going to talk a lot about power and charging stats and stuff that we know that we can share. since we have the car here as well, Jordan, we should just go on a tour and tell everyone about it as well. And so it'll be a little bit of a full tour and drive, but it's important to note right up front that Lucid is giving us, really, I think we're the only ones filming this, maybe a couple other people, access way ahead of production to be able to drive this car. So a huge shout out to Lucid for letting us drive this vehicle. And also, we should just mention a huge shout out to Lucid for letting us borrow an Air for the last almost 4 months over there. And so we're actually returning our Lucid Air. If you want to know how we liked the Lucid Air over the last 3 or 4 months, we've done 15,000 miles in that car, and we just made a full 1.5 hour long review. Very typical for Out of Spec. Ahead of the full review on the Gravity, I want to at least quantify what the heck we're looking at. Please excuse me for doing this just with a screen share and with some voiceover, but I just want to run through exactly what we're going to be looking at and driving from a price and option standpoint. So this, what you're looking at now, is what's considered to be a base Lucid Gravity available at launch. This is $94,900 available in the Grand Touring trim. Other trims and models will come in the future. When the Gravity was originally announced, which of course is Lucid's new 3-row electric SUV, they promised a under $80,000 starting price, and that, I believe, is still the plan. That will come when they announce less expensive versions of the car than the pretty much top trim Grand Touring model. To run through the exact spec on what we're looking at, we have the Aurora Green model that you'll see in the video today. The appearance package is the Platinum appearance package, so it has the sort of brushed aluminum-ish type of vibe. We have the largest wheel and tire package here, so we're going 22-inch front, 23-inch rear, and this is sort of the performance option. I really think this 22-inch middle option, this one here, looks pretty good, and yeah, but we're going for the full big boy spec on this one today. We also have the Perlux Premium interior, which is a leather-free interior. You can, of course, go for a full leather, and everything is California-themed. And what's really cool is in the configurator, they tell you exactly what surfaces have what materials, and you can really play around with this and figure out what the heck, if you're thinking about ordering one, what the heck you'll get in there. In terms of seating, we are showing the 7-passenger option. This is the convertible Lucid Gravity that you're looking at here, which would be hilarious if they actually made that. There's 3 levels of Dream Drive. We'll talk about that in the video, but I'm just going to assume this one has the fully maxed out version that shows that it also has future capable ADAS hardware. So I believe the Dream Drive Pro, it's quite an expensive upgrade, adds more hardware. So I believe that's what we're looking at. This probably has the big boy sound system. It definitely has the dynamic handling package. It definitely has the tech package, comfort and convenience package, and towing package. And again, you can run on the website and everything in here will tell you what these add, what the head-up display sort of looks like. Super cool, great detailed configurator. So the spec of the one we're looking at in this video is $125,200 as tested.
The marketing has been interesting. I mean, Lucid's compromise nothing strategy is what we've been hyper focused on.
That's their new tagline, compromise nothing.
The new tagline. And so with the Air, of course we love it. That was the overarching thought. And we ended the video with saying like, we'd pick this over like all the competition.
Yes.
But we still have had to point out a lot of compromises.
I mean, a car is a compromise. Every single decision, you're compromising something. So I think we talked to some people about that new tagline, because Jordan and I were like, compromise nothing. Should we make the Gravity video about all the compromises here and be like, what's going on? No, it's really more of like the ethos of the company.
They're trying to compromise as little as possible.
Right. So it really should be that.
Right.
If they want to be truthful.
And I'm on board. Like the presentations, great. I've seen like, wow, this could, maybe should win, Motor Trend SUV of the year, like whatever. Like I'm intrigued so much.
Well, I judged it this year, along with some others. Won't say anything more than that.
I'm intrigued so much, and I do think this has a good shot of being like one of the best SUVs. And it has
come around the back, show everyone what it looks like back here.
Well, I was gonna say it has to sell well. I don't think people are recognizing the gravity of the situation here.
But I think this is what's going to give us the pulse on the company. And to me, that's what's so exciting about getting such an early opportunity to drive Gravity is like, what did they work on? What did they learn from Air? And here's where we get to learn a lot about what has happened with the car. let's just go through the stats on this thing. This is the Lucid Gravity Grand Touring, which is the launch specification. And the base price at launch is
About 95,000.
95 grand.
But
Okay.
then
And
to get it how you want it, you're probably looking kind of like a Porsche where you just add a bunch of things.
yeah.
And so you're looking at 110 roughly, up to 130 if you really spec everything out.
So 90 base, 110 for a medium average build, and then 130, which is, this is what that's representative
Yeah,
of.
but when you say base, it's still Grand Touring. Like
Right,
the
still
Grand
higher
Touring
spec.
Spectrum is literally $35,000 of options.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. There will be cheaper ones coming in the future,
Yep.
but they're launching kind of at the high end. Perhaps there will even be a performance variant.
Yeah, I'm sure they're thinking about it, or maybe it's already in the works.
Battery pack, 120 kilowatt hours usable. So it's basically the similar, voltage range as Lucid Air Grand Touring. It's the same, up to 924 volt full charged battery pack architecture. A little bit different cell with higher capacity and even better charging characteristics, which means this is going to have a couple more kilowatt hours of usable capacity than the Air Grand Touring that we've been using, and charge, I hear, significantly faster.
Can't wait to try that.
I cannot wait to try the charging, because we've heard so many things about, or we've shown so many inconsistencies with charging in the Air, and I just think this thing has the opportunity to charge like a monster.
And it's probably worth a whole video, and it will be worth a whole video, but the inconsistencies in the Air is apparently intentional. So
Yes, there's so much to get into.
Right.
Everything's a compromise, Jordan.
You're right, exactly. That's what I'm learning.
Yes.
But if you make the right compromises, you make a good car.
So that's the battery pack. So 450 miles of range now.
EPA.
That would be on the Aero wheels.
Right.
So what's interesting is they do a different size front and rear wheel.
All three wheel sizes are staggered, which
So
means
it's
there's actually
20-inch front, 21-inch rear is the base.
Yep.
Then 21, 22.
Yep.
And then 22, 23, which is what we're looking at here.
So you have three wheel packages, but four sizes.
It's interesting because you can never rotate your tires.
Right.
Okay, so there's also, you're getting into the upper echelon of cars. This is a $130,000 vehicle as we're looking at it here. And so there's no rotation that's going to happen. So just drive them hard.
Right.
Don't ever tear in tires or exchange your tires when there's rubber left. And what we're going to find out, because we've actually already driven this car as we're doing this intro, dude, it rips. It's unbelievable. And that's mostly down to, these are on the new generation Pirelli P0. And this is the performance set of wheels and tires. I really think that mid-tier is the correct option. They look great, and they're probably much better for aero. These are wide open. By the way, a little trick for you. If you're curious if the Lucid Gravity you see on the road has dynamic handling package, it would have, they're hot because I was just ripping it, titanium brake calipers.
Yep. Otherwise, they're black in the lesser package.
Yes, and maybe that's just for Grand Touring, and then they'll be silver base. I don't know.
Possibly. We don't really know.
Okay. What else should we say? Range, price, charging should be, I'm guessing 350 kilowatts or so.
Peak rate of 350 is what they're saying.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
But I'm really more curious about the curve. The key is different.
Key is better.
Key is better. So you have lock, unlock, front trunk, rear trunk. Let's start up front. Pre-production things. Let me see if I can open it from inside. Oh, wait, here we go.
Yeah, so notably there is no button on the front. You have to use the key fob or inside the car.
We've already shown everyone some styling things, but what I think is interesting, Jordan, is they took one light beam, so there's 4 modules in here. Lucid Air has 5. They removed one and put the high beam down here in a split.
Right.
This vehicle will also support adaptive driving beam, like Rivian R1S does now in our market, through an over-the-air update.
Awesome.
Front gating. You've got a really low floor where you can just sit here. Now
they call it frunking in the Unveil.
Frunking, that's right, frunking. Yeah. So anyway, you've got plenty of storage through here, which is cool, and you have a NEMA 515 outlet. They say 1.8 kilowatts through there, although I can't imagine what would pull 1,800 watts out of that plug.
My espresso machine might.
Maybe.
I'll test that.
They have 3 of them,
Right.
but you can run all 3 flat out at the same time.
Awesome.
So you have 5.8 kilowatts of exportable power. A lot of vehicles will have multiple ports, but one inverter.
Right.
And there's a little button right here that I can use to close this. There's also cup holders and windshield washer.
Cup holders with little drain holes.
Oh,
Awesome.
good
It's the
catch.
Thing. It's the little
good
thing.
catch. Interesting. And I can actually see the little spray line here. A lot of this stuff must be just early production. Like this thing is VIN 63.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't know. One thing that I think is kind of a miss, there's no front trunk button on the outside of the vehicle.
Yeah. Like I was saying, like that's a way a lot of people open them.
Yeah, I
Or
love
enclose
walking
them.
up to my Rivian and boop, hitting a button.
Yeah, yeah.
And here comes one just driving around. It's got a
Cool.
little bit of that accent marking on the front and looks pretty good.
Love it.
Man, they look awesome.
They do. They really do look great rolling down the road.
Okay, some people don't like them. They say it looks like a minivan. I disagree. This is a cool looking car. The Air, okay, maybe not unless you get a Sapphire.
Right.
This looks awesome.
This-
I love
yeah.
the backlit Lucid through here. You've got all your sensors down here. So this vehicle also supports Dream Drive, 3 levels of Dream Drive, right?
Right.
Which is their driver assistance.
There's
And that's
Dream-
confusing.
Right. There's Dream Drive Premium, and Dream Drive Pro.
Okay, and the base one has lane centering standard as far as we can tell.
As far as we can tell, the website wording is a little weird, and it's also weird because the website wording is different from Gravity to Air.
Right, they're not everything totally makes sense.
And maybe they're still working on that.
Okay.
Like this hasn't fully, but you can like spec one out. So
Yeah.
like I would think it's close to being
But it's
done.
like $1,500 for the one up, and that gives you the like side view cameras in the display,
Yep.
which I highly recommend getting that one at least.
Yep.
And then there's one that's like $6,500 up, which is like future proofing your car
yeah,
for like over the air updates.
Right.
I don't know about that.
that's a lot of money.
We got to
I mean,
dig into this
sure,
at a later
Tesla
time.
charges $8,000 for FSD, but
Yeah.
Dream
But like
Drive so
FSD is
far-
pretty crazy good right
Dream
now.
Drive is not good in my current opinion. I'm
Yeah.
hoping that continues to change and improve, but
Coming down the side, everything aero optimized with the shape. Jordan, interesting statistic here. Almost more interior person volume than a Chevy Suburban. Actually, there is more.
Yeah.
In terms of knee room. We'll do a first, second, and third row test through here as well. But it's only like 10 inches longer than Macan, plus or minus. It's shorter than an EQS SUV. It's shorter than BMW X7.
Yeah.
Shorter than all of that.
barely shorter than our R1S even, which is
Yeah.
a pretty
But then
impressive size.
massive interior space.
Yep.
And so front trunk, rear trunk. Wait till people see what's going on back here. Let's show everyone this. And so we actually were just hanging out with Peter Rawlinson for a little bit. He's awesome, by the way, out of Spec viewer.
Yep.
And he mentioned that they could bring this tail to about here and it would help with like 3 miles of range.
Right.
And the designer stopped him. So
And
Derek
he wanted-
Jenkins was like,
he
no.
wanted that 3 miles of range. Peter's an enthusiast who loves his efficiency.
But I wonder if he road trips. We got to ask him. Like, we got to see, when does Peter ever go on a road trip?
We should do a road trip with him.
Yeah, we should. We should go on a
That's-
cross-country road trip with Peter.
We should start a series like road tripping with CEOs, kind of
Yes.
like comedians in cars getting coffee.
Yeah, we're just like, we're driving from Texas to Montana today. Okay, first thing I noticed, Jordan, look at how low this is.
Yep.
This load height, if you just zoom out for a second, it's literally at my knee level.
Yep.
So what's cool about this is I could pick something up, pull it up with my knees, and I never have to bend an elbow if it's heavy and just slide it in, which is so cool. And one interesting cool thing is they intentionally raised this little metal barrier just a bit higher than your seal, so you never damage your seals as you pull something in and out. I mean, just little attention to detail. That this is the stuff we were hoping to find in Lucid Air, that they finally put the effort into Gravity to like dial in that last 5%.
Yeah, and you can tell a lot of them love the little details, and they've a lot of people have been passionately working on this. I think that maybe didn't get their way with Air.
Also, I'm just under like 6'1" and a bit, and I have just my hairbrush is under here. You're standing under here as well, no problem with that.
It's a dual win purpose because this indentation gives you more storage capacity when it's closed, but also more headroom when it's open.
Yeah, and to dig into storage, I think this is the most important part. Of course, we're here to drive it, but I think it's really important that we show the storage of everything. First thing I want to focus on is how to fold everything down. So we're going to pull all this stuff out. I got to pull all this out too. Zara jacket, sorry to whoever's this is. Pre-production, blah, blah, blah. Okay, now I'm not 100% sure how this works, Jordan, but I think, no, there's this latch here. Oh, baby. Dude, it's like a freaking stow and go minivan.
Yeah, it's like Chrysler.
Look at that. Okay, there's more. So that's where your rear motor is. By the way, it has a slightly adapted version motor from the Lucid Air GT that we've been driving.
Yeah.
It's almost more slightly efficient. They run a little bit shorter gear ratio for off-roading, so it's similar to Pure.
Yeah, the pure ratio.
And they also do all the updated ESP stuff. Everything they learned from Sapphire has now gone into the inverter and motor controls here. Pretty freaking cool. So let me see if I can fold these. Whoa,
Oh, I did it.
you did it.
I found buttons.
Okay, but the headrest is hitting this seat. I got to move the passenger seat up a little bit. Yep.
I brought Jeremy out because you can help with.
Oh, cool. I think we're getting there.
Yep.
Sweet.
You can put that seat back.
Okay, so now the seat can go back a little bit.
Yep. You can go all the way back.
Well, that's fine. And then we'll do the other side.
Yep. Same thing, just pull the seat forward first.
Okay, cool. Is there a way that you can hit a button from back there and move this seat forwards?
I believe that will happen in the software, but it's not that way right now.
Okay, so
especially with this car.
right, this one's a pretty early one. Yeah.
Push the back button still. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just moving the seatbelt so we don't leave an impression in the...
You want to hit the one that says, yep.
So it slides back and then falls.
Dang, that is cool, actually. Actually, Jordan, I'm going to hit the button. I want you to film this action over here, the way that this thing comes through. So then to pull this back up, is it electric or do I pull it manually?
Pull it up.
Okay.
Yep. Just puts right into
Okay. Never seen a rear seat fold like this. Jordan, are you ready to have your mind blown?
Yep.
To get
So-
it super flat, what happens is this bottom piece folds forwards and then this comes down on top of it. So
All right, you hit the left button.
I'm going to hit the left button. How sick is that?
Nice.
That is so cool.
Now it's ready for me to car camp.
Now, if you take a look at the space through here, it's absolutely massive. And from what I've heard is there will be an accessory at some point in the future that's like an air mattress that folds in there so you can camp. There will also be a camp mode that you can even use the rear screen to adjust climate and other stuff.
Which is perfect, because that's what I needed in the Lucid Air, which I know people don't camp in, but I did. And
No Lucid Air owners sleeping in their
That's
car.
what-
This
that's
one,
what
though,
it
maybe. And you even have another, power outlet out back here.
yeah, I'm excited to camp in this thing. So this is 114
Look,
cubic feet.
even more storage.
Yep.
Holy smokes.
So 114 cubic feet.
That's with the
Which is-
3-row. If you get the 2-row, because the 3rd row is an option,
Yeah.
then it's 120 cubic feet.
Well, yeah, because that'll give you this space back.
Right, exactly. So now let me show you how to open up or put back up the 2nd row, which is a 2-step process. So you manually pull this one up. Bit heavy, not sure if that's series production or not, but I wish it was a little bit assisted, but that's okay. And then the bottom bit, dude, that's cool actually.
Perfect.
That is so cool. And this, we should mention, is a new interior material, which is a non-animal based interior.
Yep.
It's a leather-free material, which means it should be even more durable.
Yeah, so this is the middle trim interior, basically.
So to put these back up, how do you do that? I'm learning in real time. Pull
You
this.
probably pulled out the whole way, yeah.
There we go. So let's do it a little bit smoother. Pull this up and in. Not bad. Lock it. Then I can pull this tab. Dude, it's really easy.
Yeah,
I'm an idiot and I just figured that out in 1 second.
with no instruction.
All right, let's do a 3rd row test. So I don't think this is the normal way to get into the 3rd row. So I'm going to fold this up. Boom. Put the bottom rest up. Hit this button. Oh,
Moves up, moves
power,
forward.
2nd row.
Very slow, but it is powered. That's nice.
And so I wonder if they're powered if you get the 5-seat configuration. Probably not, but I don't know. In I go. Okay. First of all, I fit,
Yeah.
which is an impressive feat in itself. Would you mind putting that seat back for me?
Oh, there we go.
Okay, moving back. Wish me luck.
You nervous?
I don't know what to think here. And then this can pull back. Now this is in its farthest back configuration.
And are you fitting?
I have 2 fingers of knee room.
Whoa, and it's furthest back.
That's as far back as it goes.
Because it can go way forward.
And impressively, my feet feels pretty low.
Okay.
So like it's not like my knees are in the dash.
Yeah.
That's freaking cool, dude.
And then amenities back there, I'm guessing USB ports.
Rear air vent right in my face. The 3rd row adds 2 more USB-C ports.
Yep.
45 watts in the rear, 100 watts in the front
Awesome.
is what they claim. And the glass roof, dude, comes all the way back behind my head.
Yeah. That's the trick to the,
Super
to the
impressive.
extra space.
And unlike the Lucid Air, the lights are not pointed right in my eyes and blinding me.
Nice.
Because
Okay.
every time you put the interior lights on in the Air, you get straight blinded. Everything about this just feels next gen, so much better thought out than the Air. And we're pretty big Lucid Air fans, but this is a whole nother level, dude. And I love the little details here, gravity with the bear theme everywhere. All this material looks nice.
Yeah, I can't wait to try the sound system. We'll see if that's actually ready.
Yeah, it's not in this one, I don't
Dolby
think.
Atmos and everything, which is probably still only through Tidal. You know, they don't have a Apple Music partnership, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Even though some of the competition does.
I'm fine with Spotify.
I'm not, so.
All right, second row. Now that we just did the third row, dude, the seat actually moves quicker now that I'm in it. I can recline it all the way, tons of room.
Wow.
Here's Peter. Peter, can you come on camera?
What's your verdict?
Do you want to come on camera?
No, well, I think I already am.
Yeah.
What's your verdict?
It,
Look at this matching.
yeah, drives incredibly. Yeah,
It's a machine.
it's crazy. I mean, I can't imagine people needing to drive that quickly in the road, but if they do, it's a weapon.
It's quite a machine.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
glad you like it. Glad you appreciate it.
Most importantly, though, highway cruising, awesome. Just like sitting at 80 miles an hour, it's so
It's
nice.
got great wind noise control.
Yeah.
Great.
All right, so cool to see Peter. We just told him we need software improvements and charging improvements, and he's like, I'm all over it. Perfect, it's perfect. That's what we needed to hear. And he's riding in the back of that Air over there, and we'll say
Off to the
goodbye
factory.
to him.
Bye, Peter.
Yep. Is that Wolfer driving him?
Nice.
Yeah, so cool.
See, they need rear massaging seats for these instances.
Yeah, wasn't Air supposed to have a luxury rear seating package?
They did tease one. They've
I
also
sat in one here before, like 5 or 6 years ago.
Right. They also teased a 6-seat configuration of this, which is not coming yet. They didn't say it won't come. They just
Right.
said not yet.
Okay, so now I'm just trying to leave the seating position in the same place.
Right.
I've sat in the third row, the second row, plenty of room. And this seat, also, dude, I can sit
You're
straight
fine.
out almost. The room is crazy.
The efficiency, the packaging, which is also similar to Air, props.
Yeah, Lucid's like their unique selling points or key expertise areas, I would say, are driving dynamics and packaging.
Yep.
And efficiency, of course.
Yeah.
But even like, they're big cars and they're still incredibly efficient.
Right.
They're not the most efficient cars we've tested,
No.
but they're pretty damn good for the size. Okay, so that's the size, space, shape of the Gravity. Let's talk about what makes it move at a quick high level, and then I want to just play around in the cabin, get seated in there and all that
Right.
stuff. But we've got a dual motor powertrain with no limited slip differentials, so it uses brake-based torque vectoring, and so they're really relying on the brakes quite a bit. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's just, it's not geared to be an R1S hardcore off-roader. This is like on-road 99% of the time, but it can get you to the cabin.
Yeah, it can do
got
soft,
some
it can
soft
do soft
roading.
roading, which is what most people do.
Yeah, and from what I hear is there'll even be an off-road app,
Yeah.
which will be pretty cool and tell you battery temperature and motor temperatures. And I'm like, wow, cool. They're finally getting to all that stuff. Dude, Lucid, when they launched the Air, that's a small company.
Right.
And they really had to focus on a few areas. Now that I think they're bigger, they're more mature, they know what EV drivers are looking for, they can really dial this thing in.
Yep.
And I'll certainly give you some pros and cons at the end after everything, because I don't want to sound too positive. 828 horsepower,
828 horsepower,
906 pound-feet of torque.
909 pound-feet of torque.
909.
Yeah.
Either way,
It's a beast.
it's a beast.
And
We're
that's
going to
with
show you that.
That's with 2 motors, not 3 motors or 4 or whatever. Yeah.
Silicon carbide permanent magnet motors, double isolation mount on the front. So a lot of people who drove early Lucid Air remember that motor noise that would come in. They made it significantly quieter in the 25 Lucid Air with the single isolation mount, I think. And now they have the motor isolated to the cradle, which is isolated to the body of the vehicle, the chassis, which is
we'll
really
still
cool.
hear a bit when we drive, but it's definitely.
I mean, we
nice.
can say at wide open throttle, they sound healthy,
Yeah.
but it's not intrusive. And at low speed, the one pedal driving so much better. Like it's just, it's amazing.
They're
It's so cool.
dialed. They're dialed.
From a suspension and chassis perspective, we can show everyone the cutaways inside, but it's single chamber air with adaptive damper, pretty much targets the smooth value all the time in terms of spring rate. But then this one's the tri-chamber. Again, you can tell because it has the dynamic handling pack with the gold titanium, whatever it's called, brake calipers. Then you can actually control spring rate, suspension height, and they're not totally affected by each other. It just opens up the absolute range of sportiness. What's cool is the standard suspension targets the most comfortable setting, which I really think is fine for 99% of users. But if you want a fun handling one as well, we haven't driven that one yet, but if you want, the standard one we haven't driven, but if you want one that has like even a little bit more comfortable and even a little bit sportier and a lot of bit sportier, tri-chamber is pretty cool. Also has rear steering for the first time in a Lucid. One thing we were actually looking for on the Air, it was your recommendation, Jordan, to bring it in. 3 degrees just under of rear steering, but what's really cool is there's no steering rack in the rear. And the reason they didn't do that was because of where your heels will go. They didn't want to impede interior space. So they have 2 tiny little racks on each side. So you can control each wheel individually. Now, they don't really do anything cool with that. They pretty much target the same ratio, but it's 2 little mini actuators on each.
Right.
Which I think is cool.
Yeah. And that gives you a turning circle of 38 feet, which is pretty good.
Very VinFast VF9 back here.
Yeah.
I have to say, like, it really does have that same similar shape.
Cool new light bar.
No rear wiper, is there?
There is, way top.
Oh, nice. I was about to go.
There's a camera hidden back here.
Yeah,
But also
interesting.
one here.
Okay.
But
So
the light bar is nice. Yeah.
we've seen these on the road. We've seen them all over the place here. Dude, they look great.
Yep.
I can't get over how good the back of this thing looks. It's squared off like an SUV should be.
Which fixes, like, that's the worst part of the Air to me. I hate looking at the back of them.
Yeah.
And this just solves it.
Let me jump in the driver's seat. Why don't you hop in the passenger seat? Because to me, my main issue with the Air was always seating position. I can never get comfortable in the car. And that was a very personal thing. By the way, we should mention the rear doors open 90 degrees, Jordan.
Oh, yeah.
So you can like get your car seat in or whatever. If you open up that side, I can show you here. Look at how much room I have to enter here. This is crazy. Oh, we didn't even show the best part. USB-C outlets in the back of the seat, like Rivian, and freaking trays, brother.
And depending on the how much the front seat is angled, like they're a little bit up. Which
Yeah,
is kinda
but you've got like a little slot where you can put an iPad or your phone. And this is in place of like a rear seat entertainment, which I think is good because, you know, like you've got a little screen here that you can do some things with, climate control, whatever, heated seats. But like they're never going to spend as much money as Apple did on their iPad designing a rear entertainment system.
Yeah.
So just use an iPad
Right.
and just put that there.
Don't do the Rolls-Royce thing where the screens are built in and they're outdated within like
Dude, I was just in a Cullinan the other day and the screens suck. And I'm
Yeah.
like, why is this even here?
And you know, Tesla and others will like do entertainment down here, but that's actually hard on your neck to look down. And so I think does actually make sense to BYOD, bring your own device.
Yeah, I'm curious if this is FMVSS compliant though. Like I wonder if this will get deleted at the last minute.
Yeah.
Only because the ID Buzz in Europe have the trays.
Yeah.
And my B-Class electric has the trays.
Oh.
Which is kind of interesting. And so this is here, so I'm assuming it'll make it to market, but why couldn't Volkswagen do it with the Buzz?
I don't know.
I don't know. Keep an eye on that. I'm curious if the real saleable ones have that.
But seating position.
Dude, this is the most important thing. I gotta weigh the frick up here at the moment. Let me just back it up. The cabin experience, night and day between this and the Air. First of all, the seat is awesome.
Yep.
The seat's great. It feels so good. The windshield is so huge and is awesome. And these are now out of your line of sight. So it's no longer annoying to have the sun visors up there, also with the batteries in them.
Yep. Still got the batteries, the watch batteries for the vanity mirror light. Oh my God.
Steering wheel looks really weird in person.
Yeah, it looks like upside down.
It looks upside down. Like it looks like this should be the right way.
Right.
But in reality, by the way, no airbags. Don't crash this one.
Okay.
Just seeing that after we drove it. I drove the shit out of this thing. It feels amazing.
Yeah.
It's almost Cybertruck-like. And I love the wheel in the Cybertruck. It's thin, it's firm. You don't get this ugly, squishy big wheel that's in the air. It's like actually very performance-y hand position. And so as long as you keep your hands here and you don't do any of this, it's great.
Yep.
The stocks even feel a bit better than the Air. Not that much better. They're similar.
There's still a slight complaint.
Yeah, too much movement, too far away.
Yeah.
So I wish it were a little bit clickier, a little bit closer. Eye tracking device right here. And this interior is the Yosemite.
Yes.
They all are named after some California place. But they're all nice.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong. There's no bad looking interior.
Lucid interiors rock.
Yeah.
That's the main,
Shout out Derek Jenkins
Yeah.
for design because he nailed it on this thing.
Similar volume knob.
Is it-
It's not responsive enough, so they haven't done the patch that they've done Lucid
Yeah,
Air.
they've already fixed this. It's a bit clickier though.
Yeah, a little different.
Okay, and so first of all, let's start with the head-up display. Augmented reality head-up display.
Yep.
Doesn't work in this one. Don't know.
No.
It's an early one.
But it's huge.
They'll get there.
It should be awesome. I'm excited to see that.
We'll probably have some external clips explaining some more of this stuff. So if the video doesn't make sense, I'm really sorry. Tell me about the screen. This is huge.
Yeah, 6K resolution OLED screens. They are absolutely stunning.
Okay,
Really,
so the screens
really
are nice.
Beautiful. And it's seamless, unlike the Air, which is like chopped up in a couple of places. This is actually seamless. 34 inches, so it's huge. 1 inch bigger than Cadillac. Was that intentional? I don't know.
But it's not as high quality as Cadillac.
Well, Cadillac has 9K is what they claim, but this seems higher quality and better for some reason.
Yeah, you've seen both now.
Yeah.
This looks beautiful.
This is beautiful. This is, now that I'm looking at it, this is slightly less pixel density, so I can kind of tell, but who cares? It's OLED.
I can't tell. This to me is absolutely gorgeous. And the whole interface is different than before. So which was something we complained about in Air as well.
Yeah.
So now you can actually multitask. So I can keep, nav up there and then music down here.
Perfect.
How cool is
Instead
that?
of being weirdly tied together.
Yes.
I
So,
love that.
and then I think, is this a hotkey? Oh.
So these are programmed 1, 2, 3 programmable buttons.
Well, this should just stay heated and cooled seats.
That would be
which this
nice.
one doesn't work.
Which maybe you could do that in future software, but I'm really curious to see what these 3 buttons can be programmed to do.
Right,
Like,
this
could
again-
could one be ESC off?
Well, yeah, that's what I would do. It would be like, okay, Sport Plus mode or whatever. What do they call it? Swift, Sprint,
Yeah.
regen on high, ride height, slammed, vehicle, driving, off,
Yep.
disable. Thank
It's like
you.
18 steps, and
Yeah.
now you've solved it.
If I can
yeah.
just make that one button.
Yep.
They will also have, Jordan, big news, configurable drive modes
Oh, that'll be so nice.
for Air and this,
Yeah.
which is such a huge thing because I hate being locked. Like, I want full power in smooth suspension.
Yep.
I just want to be able to rip past someone. And then if you have to stiffen up the suspension for that one moment, then you can go back to smooth, whatever. Really cool. So we've got, same layout as Air in the sense where you've got all of your main vehicle controls here, your driver's display, and, pretty much just a UI
Yep.
basic situation. CarPlay, Android Auto.
No Android Auto.
No Android Auto.
Only car. Same as Lucid Air. No
Oh.
Android Auto.
I didn't
So
actually
leaving
know
our
that.
Android brethren out to dry.
Doesn't matter to me.
Right? But also no Apple Music. That really bothers me.
Okay.
Anyways.
So
And also the touchpads on the steering wheel are a huge differentiator.
they don't work in this one, so I have no idea what to
They
experience.
don't, but they in theory should, be able to swipe things almost MBUX-ish.
Yeah, well, that's what I was
They'll control here, they'll control there on the left side, the right side to control over here. That reminds me of MBUX. I'm really curious to see how that looks.
I have to say, I'm a little bit nervous. This car start of production is like in 2 weeks from now,
Yeah,
2 to 3 weeks from now.
they should deliver by the end of the year, and it's basically the end of the year.
And I don't know if deliveries will be this year or early next year.
Mhm.
I brought it up and they were like a little bit cagey about it. But dude, like, this needs to work. Okay, let's just run through it really quick because I can see them coming
Yeah,
trying to
we
kick
got
us
like
out.
2
Okay, we got 2 minutes. Okay, so main screen here, you've got all of your driving stuff, opening, seats, charging,
There's going to be a new charging app situation.
precondition, all that stuff, 48 amp. Oh, you can adjust your onboard charger now.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, how
They
about
heard-
that?
they
So
heard us.
cool. You can keep the outlets on. That's awesome. And Lucid Vibes.
Yep, so that's a whole new thing. It's not really fully set up in this car, but this will be really cool. Just, yeah, like vibes is a good term
Yeah,
for it.
there's also this whole yoga thing.
Yeah.
We'll explain more later on. You've got HVAC controls, heat pump, heat scavenging. The motors can heat up the battery pack. Everything's connected. They don't let any joule go to waste. And it's really a great thermal concept here. Navigation with route planning. We, of course, won't try it now, but that's going to be a really key focus when we review this
Yep.
to see how that works. Of course, we will also be interested to hear the sound system, and that's the basic operating structure, tons of settings and stuff that we'll go into when we can review the Series 1, which really shouldn't be long. This is glass.
Tempered glass. This is made to be very mid-century modern, and I love it.
I love it too. I think that's really perfect. You got 2 cup holders, a place to put your key with a perfect key cutout right there.
Nice.
That is cool. And you've got 1 wireless charging pad right there,
Yep.
and a super deep console,
This
dude.
whole thing moves.
No way.
And you can fit so many things in there.
I had no idea.
Yep.
That's actually freaking awesome. Okay. The space is unbelievable.
Yeah, the space is great. Everything's great.
So, all right. With all of that said, I'm sure we'll have more information to add back at the office. We'll bounce back
Yeah.
and forth. But that's the quick rundown tour. Does it have a glove box?
It seems,
Yeah, I think it does.
I think so.
How do
Might
we?
be openings. No.
No? Okay.
And the other Lucid was somewhere in here.
Anyway,
But-
doesn't matter. We'll get into that when we get to the Series 1. But dude, I fit in this car finally.
Yeah.
Let's go drive it and let's share our final thoughts.
It's true.
But the challenge was we'll obviously benchmark all the SUVs out there, but how do we? This was more about how do we build the Lucid DNA into basically a new platform, at least as far as the kind of the chassis and driving experience goes. And with that, it's kind of what's the largest breadth of capability we can offer. So a lot of this the sort of updates you'll see, the switchable volume air suspension, the rear steer, kind of the new enhanced motor and brake controls that were sort of in its evolution from Sapphire and Air pure rear wheel drive. All of this kind of comes together to give basically, first and foremost, a very refined, luxury focused SUV for the everyday buyer, with the cherry on top of how can we make it handle like a Lucid, not like an SUV.
Yeah, well, again, I haven't been in it. This is my first time sitting in the car, but it's so cool already. It's coming out of Air, totally feels next generation already. So we'll go into drive, and is there a big lip off here? No.
No, there's not. Yeah, it's smooth.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll just take a left, and then we'll go left out of the
Cool. I'm just going to try out here really quick and see how one pedal drive feels compared to Air. Interesting how brake pedal does the same thing, where it'll build up pressure right at the end, where you'll blend in friction at like 1 mile an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And but super smooth, feels good, and honestly even smoother than Air down low. So the Air will jump a little bit if you just touch the throttle, and this is just nice progressive. Yeah, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So all that little stuff already painting a picture that this could be cool. I've come in with an open mind for the Squircle, and feels, so I actually drive a Cybertruck as my car recently.
Oh, nice.
And so I'm used to sort of the form factor, and yeah, love the thinness to it.
To the
Left here, cool. And off we go. First time driving the Gravity. Jordan's in the back. How's it feel back there, Jordan?
So much room. I could have been in the third row, but I wanted.
Oh man, how cool is this, being able to drive this car? Thank you for the opportunity, of course.
Excited to get you in it. You were one of the first people to drive the Air Dream Edition.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, there's a bit of a theme here.
Yeah, that was really fun. That video did super well, by the way.
Nice,
so thanks for helping to hook up on that. And yeah, instantly, like, totally love the steering wheel input. 100 times better than the Air in terms of just the firmness of the wheel. And yeah, wow, okay, totally cool instantly. The view out the front is great. Huge rear view mirror as well. You can actually see pretty well out the back, even with a relatively small back window and relatively small side mirrors. The visibility is not bad, and you do get the cameras popping up. Obviously, this is pre-pro and early, but you know, that's worked pretty well on our Air so far, as having the cameras there.
Good.
And so the modes are the same as Air currently.
Currently. Yeah,
But what
we'll
I've
go right up
heard
here, by the way.
is you'll be able to separate some functions in the future.
Yeah, there's lots of features coming, including terrain mode, as well as some extra customizability. I'll say that right now we have the Smooth, Swift, and Sprint available, and really when we'll be demoing it throughout the drive, the difference in character due to the kind of evolutions we made to this platform are larger than we ever achieved on Air.
Right. Wow. Can we do a quick launch?
Yeah, let me switch you to Sprint mode.
Cool.
Get everything kind
So
of...
we've got regen in high. No one's around at the moment, so we've got to start off just with a quick acceleration.
Of course.
Left foot hard on the brake, floor it with the right. Nothing pops up at the moment, but off we go. Damn, really rips at like 30 miles an hour. You can just feel that front tire spin up. That was freaking awesome.
That's on a pretty bumpy surface too.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, this has an even an evolution of the in-house traction control that we originally debuted on the Pure and the Sapphire, the kind of the Air 1.5s.
Yeah, so it's 1,000 hertz, right? Response, something like that. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah, part of it lives on the motor controllers themselves.
So obviously this is a
We'll
pretty...
take a left at the next stoplight. You can stay in this lane, though.
Yeah, okay. So obviously this is a pretty early vehicle, but what are we experiencing, or like what will change between this and a Series 1?
As far as driving experience goes, this is it. This is what customers are going to have in the near future.
Okay, so
we'll keep tweaking things, of course, and we talked about the extra modes and whatnot, but like this is done.
Yeah, wow, one pedal driving, huge improvement over Air that I've been driving. I mean, maybe Sapphire and Pure are different. I haven't experienced those, but the GT that we've just had for 3 months, wow, this is a whole nother world. That's
nice.
Freaking awesome. Turn signal noise, have to say, it needs to change. That's really bad.
It's not representative, but yeah.
Still has the same weird timing oscillation that the Air has.
passes.
right where it'll skip a little bit from time to time, but like,
Mhm.
okay, so that just, we'll just turn that off for now. But wow, just seating position in here is pretty good. Like for me, it ergonomically fits so much better than Air already. Having this up a little bit higher, totally, completely sold on the Squircle. I was like, wow, that looks pretty ugly.
Once you hold it and you kind of get the 9 and 3 position, the ergo is just perfect.
It's perfect. You're totally right.
Size, everything. Yep.
And it's very personal thing, but I've just never totally felt comfortable in the Air. And in this, totally night and day. Like,
Nice.
wow, really kind of cool. Now, I'm always a fan of round wheels rather than squircles, but if you keep your hands at 9 and 3, then yeah, totally fine. So yeah, just cruising in smooth mode. We'll go right up here. I assume we'll jump on the highway, test.
Yeah, we'll go over the bridge and then around the cloverleaf on the other side.
Cool, sounds great. So we'll hopefully have the opportunity to take more than one cloverleaf. I'd like to drive the car kind of in smooth mode just a little bit.
Sure, yeah. I was going to flip you to sprint for the cloverleaf, but whatever.
Yeah, I think we'll do one in smooth and the next one in sprint.
Sure, yeah, that works.
Like that. I just think most owners stay in smooth. I don't know.
Yes. The vast majority do, and so a lot of, but I think the systems are going to constantly sort of adapt to your driving style and kind of the usual stuff. But I think the differentiation, it'll be fun to kind of get your sort of back to back on those.
Yeah,
it's like
one
it's
thing
fun.
super interesting is just how quiet the motors are compared to Air. And what's interesting, there's both using the like 9.6 to 1 gear ratios front and rear, which typically is it different in this one?
Just the rear. The rear is the rear is a different gear ratio than the front.
Ah, okay,
Yeah.
interesting. 8.1. Okay, got it.
8.7.
8.7. Okay. Well, cool. I mean, it's just
But
in general.
Seriously,
it's
powertrain.
super quiet.
There's been some step change in powertrain MBH with Gravity.
Yeah. So double isolation mounts. You really
Correct.
don't hear anything going on up there. The ratio feels pretty similar to Air, although I heard it's been slowed down a little bit. I don't know if you know if that's true or not.
It is I'll say it's very, very close. Yeah, that was one thing. You'll sense a theme of like things that were changed for either improvements or because it's an SUV, and things that we really liked about Air and carried over. Steering feel and steering geometry is something that we didn't fundamentally alter. We'll get off
Okay,
here.
got it.
We and many others like the way how we position the kind of general steering DNA of the Air, and that's something that we wanted to carry over to Gravity.
Yeah, the car is one of the best driving cars I've ever been in, ever. And, not that we're really pushing this hard today or have the opportunity to, but just that inherent high quality ride experience is certainly here. And highway cruising, this sort of coarse secondary road surface is important as well.
We'll watch you kind of just, you'll feel the car lowering itself, it'll switch to the firmer chambers, everything kind of gets a little bit more aggressive.
How long does it take to do the whole switch over?
A couple seconds.
Okay.
Yeah, you can, it's like as soon as the car lowers,
Then you're ready to rock.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And so does it actually have a full launch mode?
What we did earlier is a launch mode, just
This thing didn't pop up?
Yeah, exactly.
So Air launches pretty hard. This like ramped up to about 30, but then man, did it just boogie on.
Keeps going
after
and
that.
going and going.
So this makes more power than the Air GT by a little bit. So this is like 8. What is it, Jordan? 8 something?
828.
Yeah, and Air's 819. Yeah, exactly.
You can just sort of feel the steering out a little bit now that
Yeah, if we can boogie a little bit, that'd be awesome.
Tightens up here.
Man, does it have power on the way in. Great ABS pedal feedback.
Good.
That was awesome. And truck.
Surprise truck will go left here.
So rear steer's pretty good as well. Dude, you can feel that working right there. That's awesome.
Yeah. The goal with rear steer was, we developed a torque vectoring system on software that we're so proud of. We think it's the best in the industry. And
so this is ESP full on, will just matter.
Correct.
So power limitation, get it straight, and boogies. Brake pedal feels awesome. Just an honest, mechanically connected brake pedal.
Again, something
so
we didn't
important.
fundamentally alter. We have a coupled pedal, like Air. The ESP unit is a newer generation that's quieter, faster, more seamless. And that's part of a lot of what's going on under the hood. It's integrated with all our different systems. And really, it shouldn't be talking about it is one thing, but it's really about experiencing what it does. So the goal with all these different systems is, between the base platform of the car and all these overlays of controls, you don't need to know what's going on. All you need to know is that the car is doing what you want.
Right, totally. And the really...
Go back to smooth. We can just cruise on the... This is kind of our cruising on the city portion. I mean, this is what most people are going to do with a car like this, right? We needed to ensure that this car had serene comfort, NVH, isolation. Your kids can take a nap in the back, and then when you want, it becomes this sports sedan or SUV that you forget has 3 rows.
Yeah, what's incredible to me is how well Air drives and the split character with just a semi-active damper, where now you're adding the whole complexity of a air suspension. How hard was it to tune this?
Air suspension was obviously new to, well, not new to us. Our original Air Alphas, funny enough, had air suspension.
Oh, interesting.
But kind of first time production. We'll go right here. And so that was one of the we spent a lot of time especially with the the 3 different chambers, kind of fine tuning each profile at each height, because to get the linearity and consistency that really take more time with an air suspension than a good old coil spring.
Yeah.
I mean, part of the reason I think Air does ride so well and is so consistent is because we didn't try to bite off air suspension for our first car.
Right, and it's just so honest, and it does everything super well, and it's just, you can just hold that thing right on the edge of grip everywhere. And to me, there's no better driving electric vehicle than an Air, and I'm pretty particular, and I just absolutely love it. And so I was so excited to drive this, because now you're bringing in whole bunch more complexity, a larger vehicle in general, more weight, higher ride height, and I'm like, dang, how are they going to tune it? And to be honest, on the street, this is what 99% of people, and it is so nice and isolated, but you don't feel removed. And so I think a lot of people use this skyhook approach, where you want to be completely removed from the road. I don't necessarily feel all that. You can tell what's going on underneath you, and I think that gives you some sense of stability and comfort. And again, it's just very early impressions, but I just love that you stuck with the mechanical brake pedal. Love that the car rides this well.
Get in the right lane, I'll switch it to sprint. And then at the next stoplight, we're gonna take a right onto this on ramp.
Okay, cool.
You can wait for it to go green, and so you can hook it a bit.
Right here.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so ready to rock and roll. Nice power split front to rear. The motors sound pretty good when you get on it too.
They still have that little bit of audio feedback when you really step on it,
which is great. You want that. And dude, it just pulls to high speed. It's amazing. I mean, allegedly, the numbers just pulls and pulls and pulls and pulls. That's crazy.
Not bad, eh?
Yeah, no, it's amazing. No other really EV pulls harder the faster you go, and that is just a cool experience.
It's kind of part of our DNA. It's these motors with the way their efficiency and gearing all works with speed. These cars are Lucids, just keep pulling and keep pulling.
Yeah, the powertrain tech is
get
amazing.
Off here to the right.
Cool.
So we're gonna take a right, and then we're gonna go left at the exit, and then take the cloverleaf back on.
Cool.
On the other
That's
side.
why we can send it through. We were actually following Jason Camisa earlier when he was ripping around the off
is that you guys? Nice.
we had the Aero wheels on ours,
and
so we're just sitting on ESP the whole time. I'm like, damn, the Gravity rips.
Yeah.
We're chasing a Gravity.
Oh my god, they're fucking full send. We are at the limit of grip. That's everything we got.
Oh my gosh.
Full throttle, let's go. There we go. Full send.
Nice.
Yep.
Well, now you knew you were sitting on ESP. I challenge you to make the same statement.
Okay, let's see how this one does for sure. So, not to piss off any of the locals, but also to have some fun. Hopefully the Explorer doesn't go the same way. We can stop and wait if they do.
Sure.
So this will be the real big, handling test, if you will. Dude, turning in is awesome. Just to sit on that front tire. Dude, it turns like crazy. And the rear coming out, holy shit, that's awesome. It does all the stuff you want it to do. That's why you guys make magical driving experiences.
We've been excited for people to experience this. This is
no
a fun day for
SUV
us.
should do that.
That's what we've been saying.
It's awesome.
We've been almost the the smiles and laughs per kilowatt hour on this car as we've been kind of getting to the end of development and kind of having all these systems come together.
Yeah.
We kind of joked early on, it's like, let's make an SUV that doesn't drive like the other SUVs.
Yeah.
Now that we're here, it's like, oh, I think we kind of did it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
That thing's hilarious.
It is so fun. And that is like just an innate character that we're going to go straight here.
Yeah, we'll go straight. We're going to use our way into the middle lane. We're going to go over 880 just on this road and then make a U-turn in like a mile.
Cool. You know what? Probably most owners won't drive them that hard, but there's a few that will. And also just if you drive a car with the virtual ball axis steering, with all that great tuning, you just get this inherent character that it's like, damn, this is a high quality, well-crafted machine that so many electric cars compromise on it. And I know this isn't a comparison video, but you drive a Model X around that off-ramp, it can't do what this just did. And
we benchmarked a lot of SUVs on an off-ramp, but it's somewhat quite appalling.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, we drive them all the time, and we generally take every car around for at least a few laps of a track. Mm-hmm. And like just the way ESP systems are super over aggressive and don't let you do anything. This was like, okay, won't give you too much power. Doesn't feel like half shafts are stressed or anything. Mm-hmm. Just really, really nice.
The car's rigid and planted.
Yeah, totally. And this is what matters to most people. It's quiet on the highway. It's really quiet on the highway and just rides nice. It's not maybe the floatiest, smoothest thing, but it's way smoother than pretty much any other electric SUV I've been in, but you don't get all this body motion. Mm-hmm. So if you're in an R1S and super smooth, you're kind of always just moving.
I won't name any specific examples, but but I say this because we understand the struggles that we've seen. A lot of cars struggle to cope with kind of the sort of mass and inertia properties of EVs and how to control that with the springs and dampers. I think we see some that are really hunkered down and stiff so that they don't flop around, and some that are kind of all over the place all the time. This is across the industry, really, and. Yeah. I won't say that we're the only ones who figured it out, but it's taken a long time to get the fundamentals right, because there's differences from the kind of the legacy platforms, and I think we kind of had to sort of refigure things out with the higher seating position, the air suspension, but yeah, we feel like we're there now.
It almost like I just fit so much better in this than Air. So not that this is a competitor vehicle to Air, but to me it's just like to have an SUV that can haul ass and be super comfortable, and like I fit in this really nice. That's just such a dream come true for me, because I've been wanting to really love driving Lucids and I just could never get comfortable in the Air. Mm-hmm. And so here I am, like you've got all the tuning, all the good stuff. Okay,
whenever
we'll get over there eventually.
No rush.
Yeah, so congratulations on making a great driving product. The power, of course, is easy to say, yeah, fast in a straight line, no question. I still think there's room for a harder launch, so maybe there's spicier versions at some point that you could do, I don't know, and that would be cool. But in terms of power at speed is great. Brake pedal's awesome. One pedal driving, massive improvement from my experience with Lucid previously, and it's just like dialing in those last few % of refinements that I've been waiting to experience, and it seems like a lot of it's here. Obviously software is not dialed in, the map's not moving, there's other early stuff that needs to get fixed on this one, but yeah, my first experience going from this and driving it is really good. So nice work to you guys.
Appreciate the feedback. Yeah, honestly, it's great. We always aim to improve product over product, and I think that this has been a really fun journey for us. We've seen this, we've gone from the early alpha prototypes about 18 months ago to this, and like, I mean, a lot, even just seeing the ambient lighting come in and all these final bits as the driving experience has kind of gotten to that 99% has been, we're really excited to get this thing out.
Yeah, I think the only thing I'd like to do is really just test the rear steer. I know it's just a few degrees, but
we got a demo for you.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah, that's our U-turn.
Okay, great. So we'll do the U-turn, yeah, and then we'll cruise on back. Should be fun.
You can just drive the thing like a little bit sideways everywhere.
I know stability is different in Grand Touring than Pure, because Pure has the updated stuff.
In-house.
Yeah, but at least in Grand Touring, I feel like you could back off the limited function a bit more.
I agree. That was one of those like one day.
All right, let's test rear steer. Model Y versus Gravity. Here we go. Dude, holy smokes. That's awesome. And it's quick too. So like with some competitors, Mercedes EQS, you turn the wheel, you have to wait for it to put in lock. And this was just whoop, That's awesome.
That's been one of the most time-consuming things.
Really? Yeah.
We have what to do with rear steer at higher speeds. Honestly, we developed a philosophy with the torque vectoring on Sapphire that really carried over well to rear steer. Different actuator, but similar similar goals.
Do you always do the same motion with both actuators?
We do a bit of. Not always, but most of the time, I'll say. Yeah. We can do more.
That you have a dual actuator system.
It is.
I don't think of. Are there other systems that have dual actuator rear steers?
911.
Okay,
one of them.
But that's less aggressive. That's like 1.5 degree, right? So you're running 2 and a bit.
Yeah, nearly 3. Yep. It's a lot of it's. So we're gonna keep tinkering with it, but we're really happy with the performance at launch, and honestly, getting the phasing right at parking lot and near parking lot speed maneuvers was one of the trickiest parts. Yeah, and that's one of the things we think only one company in the industry does it right, and we think we're the second.
Okay, cool, nice, great. Yeah, the highway noise, just trying to focus in on that for a second too. Obviously we have different surface types, but no high frequency noise. I imagine it would be even quieter on the smaller wheels, but that's all down to tire.
That's right.
But, yeah.
And these are the loudest.
And like wind noise is great. Windshield's freaking cool. Yeah, even some of these, it's not dead silent in my impression, but it's quiet enough to totally fit into the luxury category.
And there's some further little tweaks we're making for production to some of the seals and whatnot.
Yeah, I can hear a little bit of air noise coming through, but I can't imagine that's going to be series production.
No, there's some minor improvements that you'll see in the next time you drive one.
Over those bumps. There's no porpoising.
Yeah, it doesn't do the e-tron torque. E-trons are always busy in the back end.
A lot of EVs are, but thanks for calling it out. That's one of our favorite events, and if you take any other benchmark over that, many will fall on their face. We have the home court advantage there.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
we spent hours on that one
We hit
bridge.
that in the air earlier and said the same thing too. We were like, oh damn, it just handled that very nicely.
That's a tricky event because you get this big primary, and then it gets wavy at the pitch frequency right after. Yeah. And so a lot of cars you'll get one event and then it won't quite catch it, and then it'll get into this porpoise.
Right, yeah, you start moving all over the place and the suspension's out of whack. So you want to get it over and done with quick.
That's right, yeah. But that's still let it kind of absorb the kind of larger portions of it.
So how does the single chamber drive?
The single chamber in smooth is identical to this in smooth, minus the rear steer.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you don't get the dynamic handling pack, you get this spring rate.
Okay.
We think it's the appropriate ride body control level for an audience, the target audience.
Yep. Make sure this guy's stopping. They are.
And when you change modes, it will still change the damping like air. In sprint, it will even drop the car again, which will slightly firm things up because air springs are progressive.
Yep.
Still a fantastic all-around car. But this just kind of adds the dynamism that kind of make this thing sort of defy expectations.
What's nice about this to me is beyond all the fantastic handling attributes that I know you've thrown into this, it's like a car that I fit in, so I keep coming back to this, but the wheel is awesome. I really was like, this is gonna suck, I'm gonna hate the car because the wheel's stupid. No, this is freaking cool.
I can empathize.
The stocks are still too far away. I think they need to be moved a bit closer, because I may have short fingers, but it's hard for me to reach the turn signal sometimes. And so I feel like those should be pulled in and maybe the throw shortened. But yeah, dude, you guys freaking nailed it on this thing. It's great on the highway, and it's way better in the city now with rear steer. And this still feels like a really quick ratio, and I guess in theory you could adjust the overall turning ratio with software.
That's right. I mean, that's why I didn't want to get too much into the precise steering ratio, because with rear steer, all of that relationship changes. Yeah. And I would say the kind of yaw gain and agility of this is with the rear steer is really more like a Sapphire than an all-wheel drive, at least at lower speeds.
Before this really finalizes, what is there left to do from your side? It feels pretty sorted from where I am, like almost 100% sorted.
We've kind of released, and all of our production hardware and calibrations are in the plant. We're building cars with them. We're going to be doing some rolling updates, OTAs to some of the calibrations and moding over the coming months, but we've effectively signed this, what you're driving off, for customers now.
I would. It's really good.
Nice.
It's really freaking
Happy
awesome.
to hear that.
Yeah, same here. I mean, this was the least scary part about it because the air drives so well. So I'm like, I know the driving is going to be amazing. It's everything else that I'm like, is the software going to be good? Is the, you know, whatever. And but the driving is still a core competency of Lucid, without question. The dynamics here are great, and the fact that you can get so much range out of this platform and efficiency with the performance is always a cool trade-off.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to call this a lightweight, but it's much lighter with especially with the pack size than a lot of cars in the segment.
Yeah.
We'll always think that, a lot of times, like, we get into these efficiency dynamics to me, it's like, oh, well, lower rolling resistance tires, less, but when it comes together and the car just needs less battery, then we get happy again. Right. It's like, oh, car's just lighter.
Yeah, you always want the lightest car possible.
Yeah.
Escalade IQ. Sorry, no. Thank you so much for thank you so much for letting me drive this thing and for joining and all of the insight. I think that's the most valuable thing about coming here, was to learn from you guys about where the state of the car is, and clearly it's done from a driving perspective. This feels great. So
very much appreciated. Yeah, fun to get you in this, and just again a bit of deja vu from the dream launch.
Yeah, that was really fun. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because we went out after hours ripping.
We did. We just kept going and going. Yeah. I forget. It was something that we were asking
we were doing
about.
NVH stuff. And let's go rip.
Oh, because it's like it's like the coarsest road ever outside of our plant. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, cool.
Well, sweet. Yeah, thank you for the...
Well, guys, thanks so much for joining on sort of a quick tour and a quick initial driving impression of the Lucid Gravity. Let's start with the pros right up front, Jordan. Styling and packaging, the whole shape and design and ethos of where everything is, clearly top-notch.
Yep, I agree. I mean, this is like the best.
I can't... like, it makes other big cars feel stupid, because you can't put in as much stuff as you can in this thing. It's absolutely amazing. So that's one pro. The second pro, just the way this thing goes down the road from a comfort perspective. And what gives me even more excitement is that the standard car, not the tri-chamber air suspension, but the standard one, is geared very similarly to this in smooth mode.
And still has air suspension.
Yeah.
Air standard. That's cool.
So just the highway relaxing driving characteristics, the driving position, the wheel is really cool. I went into this thinking I would hate the wheel. I love the wheel. Everything about just driving this around town, that one pedal driving calibration is a huge improvement from before. It's absolutely a step above the air driving around. That rear steer tuning was awesome. But then you get into performance, Jordan. And this thing boogies, and not only in a straight line, but the braking is great, the steering is great, the way it gets through the corner was absolutely amazing. The ESP calibration was phenomenal, and it clearly shows that they not only made a comfortable daily driver, they made something you can take to the mountain roads and potentially even a track, and it's going to handle really well, which is a very unique situation, because we've driven R1S on track, both dual tri and quad motor of the new generation, and they feel big and heavy, and they're drifty and they're fun and they're very capable, but this actually from a dynamic standpoint is steps above that.
This is like 1,000 pounds less.
It just feels amazing. So that's most of the pros: the space, the third row, the second row, the first row. Cons: I'm worried about the software.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. It's one of the best looking, in my opinion, but I'm really curious to see. That's one of the challenges, like they're so close to production and we still can't fully test it right now.
I really was hoping they'd be farther along, because they still have to add the features, debug the features, and then use them.
Yeah.
And I'm worried,
so
to be honest.
They may just have features missing at launch, which is not ideal.
No.
Sure, they can send them over-the-air updates. That's great.
Yeah.
They've already proven they can do over-the-air updates, which is great and necessary. But they're doing the thing that a lot of tech companies are doing, where it's like, okay, it may not be ready, and so the software feature will come later.
Okay, so that's one concern. I mean, half the stuff just isn't functional at the moment. Secondly is charging. I know it's going to charge really well on 400 volt chargers, but I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
And so I'm not sure if that means 100 kilowatts, 200 kilowatts, 250 kilowatts. We'll have to wait and see. They said that we'll find out soon. And I'm hoping that the boosting power somehow is increased. I can tell you, I think I know of some secret sauce going on here. And what might be interesting is it might even be different for markets. So we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
And there's, of course, different charge port locations for different markets. I think it's cool that they'll have native NACs, but you'll need an adapter at launch to use most of the high voltage charging stations.
Yep.
And they currently don't have access to superchargers. which means when these are produced, they can't use superchargers.
Unless that changes in the next couple of weeks.
Unless they get access soon, which hopefully they will, and they will at some point in the future.
Yeah.
Third thing that we don't like about it. What is the last con about this? I'm trying to think of one.
Do you have a third one?
I don't know. I think it's pretty well sorted, to be honest.
There's so much good, there's so much promising. I mean, our complaints with the Lucid Air there are a few of them, but they're all fairly small.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, will this have a better sound system? I'm hoping it's
yeah, there's so much more to figure out.
We couldn't really test it. There's a lot more to unpack, but as an initial first glance, I'm glad they had the driving sorted, because that's obviously one thing you care about, and a lot of people do care about. A lot of people are purchasing these big SUVs because, well, they have a sports car, but they want a daily that's still fun. And so if your daily is still fun, then that's why sports SUVs kind of exist.
I think my third con, I just thought of it, is the driver assistance. Doesn't work on this car.
Oh,
kind
right.
of laps into software, but based off our Lucid Air driver assistance, they haven't cracked the code yet.
Right.
So I'm really hoping this gets dialed. So with all of that said, the final thoughts on the video are, we've had a chance to come here, meet with the people responsible for this car, really understand what work is going into it, where it is in the progression of start of production, which is happening imminently. And if anything, it just lets us put a finger on the pulse of the company. And things are looking good, Jordan. The driving is insane. The space and packaging is insane. And overall, I'm super excited. I think the value is pretty good as well. I wish they would bundle some of those options and packages and just make it a little easier, but just tick all the stuff.
Yeah,
as we always recommend.
People thought this would be more expensive at launch. It was less expensive than they thought, but then it had more options than they thought. So it kind of was a wash. It's still going to be, you know, low hundreds at launch.
Yeah.
But you're getting a lot of car, honestly. And there's a lot of super nerds in charge of every little department here. We've been out here filming, and people have been coming out saying, hey, we heard you didn't like, this thing wasn't perfect.
Everyone here watches our Lucid videos, and they're all like, we've adjusted this because of that and this and that. So if anything, I'm left so much more excited about this. I feel so much more confident in Lucid, in the ability to produce a great car. Software is still a concern, but if they can get that all dialed in, by the time we see it the next time, like 100% would drive this. If you're 99% of the time on road, this is clearly the best SUV to buy.
Right.
Like if you need off-roading, okay, Rivian R1S, but even they don't charge that well. I don't know. And we've had some issues with Gen 2 Rivians. Buy an early one, I don't know. But dude, what do you think? Best SUV?
I mean, so far.
Have we tested anyone that's better?
So far, no.
Yeah, I think it's the best SUV.
Yeah. We have like EV9 is like bargain. Like
This is way better.
There's
than
all these
EV9.
compromises that the other companies are doing.
Yeah, so you got to spend up for it, but you're getting like Macan's buggy and small and very space inefficient.
Yeah.
This is the SUV. I really think the future of Lucid rides on this one, and this feels amazing. So again, very initial taste. We'll have to see how it is over time. I'm thrilled. And I asked specifically for Alyssa for dog mode to rip on all the air vents, and Peter said no problem. So shout out to everyone here at Lucid. Thanks for giving us the opportunity to make a video about the Gravity. We have absolutely fallen in love with it. At least I have. Jordan, you?
Yeah, I'm in love. It
Yeah.
doesn't quite get to 60 as fast as the speed of gravity, which I was hoping would be a nerdy fun thing, but whatever.
Yeah.
It's close enough.
Anyway, thanks so much for watching another Out of Spec Reviews video. We are over time, and see you on another one again soon. Bye-bye.